Hello and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. This is the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne, with another cryptocurrency podcast. Today's episode brought to us by Concierge Club, mobile private key wallet and point of sale solution, helping to make crypto safe, easy, and their overall process more efficient while costing less, helping to take crypto mainstream. Also brought to us by the Cryptocurrent Conference, going to be held in New Orleans in spring of 2020. Stay tuned for more information on the Cryptocurrent Conference in New Orleans. Today's episode features a special guest interview with Mr. David Hoverman. David is one of the founders of Synq, and listen in as David and I chat about his experience in crypto and what Synq is designed to do. Check it out. All right, so we are joined here today by David Hoverman. David is one of the founders of Synq. Synq is, from what I can see, it's a revolutionary technology that's going to help a lot of people in their crypto trading, crypto investing. And I brought David on to really talk about his crypto journey and tell us a little bit more about himself and Synq. So, David, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I'm glad we could finally actually sit here and have a conversation, in person rather than through messages and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been a little while coming, man. Absolutely, absolutely. But understand it, man. The crypto space is booming. Most people just look at it as price market action, but they don't realize how much is actually going on behind the scenes.
Oh man, it is insane behind the scenes. I mean, people are building, the get rich quick facade and stuff like that is what people originally think, but then once they start digging into it, they realize the technology behind it, how it's being used, how it's being implemented, and it's one of those things where we're going through a real transformation globally, and it's cool to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. So I can't wait to find out more about your thoughts behind Synq and what's to come with that. But before we get to that, David, tell me, how'd you get started in crypto? Like what brought you into the space?
Man, so funny story. My first actual profession, if you will, I played cards and I sports bet. And there was a time way back when you could still do that online, and what in the gambling world we called it Black Friday, because the Department of Defense, DOJ, basically banned all these sites for people in the United States. So I had a friend of mine who was still gambling, a little bit later on. He was like, "Hey, you can buy into these tournaments and use this thing called Bitcoin to get in." And to exchange Bitcoin for chips, and then get back out into Bitcoin when you're done, and then turn it into cash. So if I only knew then what I know now, I would probably be on like a mega yacht or whatnot. My one of the first large tournaments that I won, the payout was just over 1,600 Bitcoin, and yeah, let's just say I just cashed it out. I didn't know what it was. Come a couple years later, 2015 happens. I'm in real estate doing some other work, and one of the guys I was working with said, "Hey, I'm really looking at Bitcoin," and this is a guy I looked up to, and I heard about it before and never dug in, and I started digging in, and let's just say I got bit by the bug. I had rigs in my basement. That was how I originally got in. I never bought, like my first Bitcoin I actually bought in, I want to say 2017, maybe late 2016. But the first Bitcoin I actually owned were from my mining rigs in my basement.
Nice. So yeah, definitely know about that bug. That's kind of what happened to me. A little bit different. I bought it in an ATM and then figured out I better find out what the heck I got. So,
seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I took a bad stock investment and cashed it out, and standing at a Bitcoin ATM with $3,100 bills, just pumping them in the machine a few years ago.
There you go. I mean, that's the way to do it. And it's interesting because once people start digging in, you have to kind of understand, the peer-to-peer transaction, the trustless nature behind it. You have to understand economics and just global economics, let alone your local economics, and really understand it from that perspective. You really start to you start to get hooked because it makes sense. It makes 100% sense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I always tell people when I'm talking to someone new about crypto is I that scene from The Matrix, right? And I talked about this in my last podcast as well. But where Morpheus is holding the two pills, the blue pill and the red pill.
Yep.
People are like, do you really want to see how deep this goes and why this is so important?
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. It's a never-ending rabbit hole, because once you dive into, okay, what is Bitcoin, you understand what is blockchain, and then you have all these other companies who are using it and trying to develop something, and that's where you really start to understand the scale in which the technology can go. Globally, it just as the internet changed the way people did commerce, this will change the way that people pay for things, as well as track things. This touches every industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on a course right now, and when you get into blockchain uses, it's just unreal. I could spend years writing on that. So
Absolutely.
Yep. So, all right, David. So tell us a little bit about like the history behind Synq. Like, how did it come about, and what is your aim and the company's aim for Synq?
So Synq came about as an accident. Sincerely, it was I met the founder of Synq. His name's Enrique Gutierrez, and he is a brilliant man. Software developer, automation specialist, consumer specialist, and business intelligence expert, if you will. And he was trying to think of a way to how to understand the way crypto markets move, because from the financial specter, the way the finance industry looks at crypto is you have investors and you have traders, but the people do not act like that, and the assets don't act like that. So he used a business intelligence model to kind of start to refactor the people in the industry, treat them as consumers rather than investors, and then be able to model their behavior. The same thing with all the 2,600 plus coins listed on CoinMarketCap right now. Each coin is broken up and into a field, if you will, and it is a consumable. So we had to remodel the people and then remodel the assets. And in doing so, we can predict the behavior of the consumer and of the assets. This is it's been 2 years in the making. It started off as going through manually, pulling in a bunch of data, digesting it, being as unbiased as possible, and start making predictions. And when he started doing that in mid 2017, it was crazy accurate. And that's I met him in a random group, and I was like, okay, listen, man, I see what you're doing, and I don't comprehend it, but I get the overall picture. From there, it was, we meet, we have a couple conversations, and I start doing some research for him. And the next thing I know, it's like, okay, well, how can we take this to the next level? Because it seems like everybody likes it, and we're accurate. At that point in time, we were, 70, 75% accurate with our projections. And that's 20% higher than the financial sector. So, these predictive markets are used in, the NASDAQ and so forth, but they're 55%, 56% accurate on their best day. So we started going down this rabbit hole, and we're like, okay, peak of 2017 hits. We see, from a business intelligence standpoint, we need to take our profits. So we take our profits, and we basically secured that in cash and said, all right, we're not touching this. We're going to ensure we have enough runway to actually make something. And our thought was, we can automate a lot of this aspect, but we really don't know if we can automate the making these projections. And that's essentially what Synq does now. We're pulling in gigs of data, In I think 3 months, we're over 3 or 4 months, we're over a terabyte worth of data that we've created, let alone what we've collected. So we automated the turning in the assets into consumables, that theology and that methodology, and then we've automated the consumer side of it, added some natural language processing, multiple different variables, and turned it into this piece of software that is now making 300 to 400 projections a day, and is averaging 79 to 82% accuracy on price to the hundredth of a penny within a specified time frame that we give it, for the top 100 assets listed on CoinMarketCap as we speak. On our worst day was 62% accuracy, and that was one day. And since then, before then, we were averaging 75, mid 70s. We had to refactor our algorithm and our software to build it out, and it's still not fully developed. But each piece that we add on is going to make this more and more accurate. So our goal is then and what we're doing right now is give the retail market, guys like you and me who started trading on BitMEX or on BitTrex or wherever, and give them an opportunity to have a set of tools that can lead them in the direction to make better trades, to be more profitable, and to give them a tool that honestly we're crazy to give the retail market. Every investor we've talked to has said flat out, why are you giving this to the retail market? Why aren't you keeping for this all for yourself, borrow some money and make billions of dollars? And our response is simple. And I wish Enrique was here to tell the story, but both his parents were teachers, and he grew up seeing kids that his parents taught come back and say, hey, I did it. I graduated college. I bettered my life. I did this. And his parents were they were really good people. They were there to help and educate others. And, sadly, his parents passed away in a car crash some years ago. And he's had the mindset where it's like, he wants to help people. He wants to teach them, everybody, not just have it be for the select few. And that's been the ethos of our company and the ethos really of crypto as a whole. It's not about that top 1% making more money. It's about giving the opportunity for you, me, Joe down the street, Jerry down the way, Sally and Susan and whatnot. It's for everybody. So, we're gonna throw it out there and see what people think. And if they like it, cool. If they don't like it, hey man, that's cool too. So I mean, that's pretty much been that's 2 years in the making. And as of May 20th, we turned it on, and my life has never been the same.
Nice. All right, man. So amazing story behind that. Yeah, I wasn't sure the history or how it came about. So explain a little bit more about what Synq has to offer. So someone, whether they join on one of the trial memberships, and we'll even talk at the end. I know you've got a fire sale kind of per se coming up. I think that's what I saw it kind of labeled as, but
yeah.
Tell everybody what they can expect from from a membership. Like, what kind of data do they get?
So when you log in to Synq, you can, for free, just go to our dashboard, which is a dashboard that's giving you price movements for the top 100 assets, volume differences in 15, 30-minute, hour, 24-hour intervals, some buy pressure and sell pressure. And then if you want to, build on that, you can get our premium membership. And our premium membership is basically the entire dashboard fully unlocked. And then you get a stream, 24/7 projections of 3 of the best performing assets on Synq. And that is, that's there for you. You can check it out, decide what you want to do, make your decisions based off that. And then if you want to step it up more, you can get our pro membership, and our pro membership is essentially what a lot of enterprises are given, and we're actually giving it to the retail side of, you get to pick 6 assets that you want to track and get projections on. So you pick your pick your 6 assets, and you start getting projections. That is for all the assets. We have a global index, which is basically an average paired in USD. And then we have integrated Binance. So if the assets you're tracking on Binance, you'll get specific projections for that exchange, because every exchange acts differently. Every asset on the exchange acts differently than, Binance acts differently than Bittrex and then Kraken and Huobi and such. And that's where you get into arbitrage opportunities and so forth. But that's what the pro level is. And on top of that, you get, a bunch of different data visualizations where we take the language polarity of the asset, and we have a gauge for that. And then we also have a social influence score where you'll see where's the sentiment of the market. I know sentiment analysis is like a one of those keywords or those hot words that people are using. And it's really funny to see other companies use this, and they think sentiment analysis is counting tweets on Twitter. Well, it's not even close. That's just scratching the surface. So we go in deep, very deep, and cut through layers and really understand what the people are feeling and how they emotionally react to certain types of news, certain types of price action. And we just build from there. So we have, a Twitter mentions and posts just to kind of throw it in the face of, oh, you can spend $50 or $100 to follow, just Twitter mentions. So we'll give that to you too, if that's what you want. But we'll also give you Reddit, and we'll also give you how many mentions versus price action. We'll also give you GitHub activity. And then we also have, for a transparency perspective, we have a projection history, which gives you all of the projections that we've made for whatever asset you're following for the past 7 days. And if it's a success, we'll tell you it's a success. If it failed, we'll tell you it failed. And then we have, the ROI or the price movement associated with it. So I'm actually looking at XRP right now, and in the past 5 days, actually, we've been 100% accurate on price movements. And they're talking, anywhere from, 0.01% price movement up to 1.26%, up to 2.8% price movement. And we've got like 50 projections that we've published. So, and, the thoughts of transparency, we have that projection history there for you to see. We have the accuracy status, which is basically a gauge that says, we're 100%, we're 50%, we're, 63% and whatnot. We want to make sure that the users know fully out there that, we're not hiding anything. It's here for you. This is a tool. Here it is. Do what you want with it. And so we also have 2 different data visuals that can show you where the projections are on a linear gauge versus where the current price is. And then we have another one that's set for more like a time scale, where you have 30 minutes. These are the projections that are expiring in 30 minutes, and 60 minutes, 2 hours, 4, 12, 24, up to 44 hours. And what I like to see is the projections that start at 44 hours, the longer term projections, as they move over, our software keeps challenging them, keeps challenging these projections. So what starts off as, 55% probability 44 hours ago, as time goes on, that can get stronger, that can get weaker. And if it falls below 51%, if it falls below 50% probable, we completely disregard it, because if it's a coin flip, it really statistically doesn't matter. So we want to make sure that if you're going to be, the pro member or even the premium member, that the probabilities, you understand, where the risk levels are associated, and you have the opportunity to act upon these projections for whichever assets that you choose to follow.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, as I alluded to earlier, you guys are running a pretty big promo. As you mentioned already, someone can join the basic platform for free, right?
Yeah. All you have to do is throw in an email address, and that's it.
Nice. So what do you guys have coming? I know by the time I publish this in the next hour or so, it's gonna be it's gonna be almost live. But can you tell everybody what's coming as far as over the next couple of days?
Yeah. So in celebration of finally launching publicly, and opening this up to the entire market, we've had a couple free weekend trials for those that are close to us, and just a couple of people in our groups, and just say, hey, try it out, give us your feedback, and we've done that twice over the past 2 months, and we got a lot of feedback. So our development team, which we have 14 full-time devs, those guys have been like busting their hump, and we've implemented a ton of updates. So to to throw it all out there, I had this brilliant marketing plan, and we were working on it, and then Enrique, as the CEO and founder, as though I'm a co-founder, I sit on the board, I'm the CMO. He has the final say, and he said, "Hey, let's do something nuts. Let's do something insane." And I was like, all right, what's that? And he goes, 98% off. And I said, what? That's like ridiculous. He goes, well, actually, I did the math. 98.02% off for 2 hours, 3 hours starting, well, now today, the 10th of September. And that means you can get your Synq Pro membership for $9.98 for per month for 3 months. And that's a pro membership. Mind you, a pro membership is going to be, it's $500. The amount of data, the amount of projections you get, easily, if you're trading, you can make that money back plus. But we want people to use this, and in the market, and when you've been around for a while, trust is a hard thing to build. And though, I have my own reputation, Enrique has his, Nick, our other co-founder, has his, we have our reputation. When it comes to putting, dollars in, you need to prove it. So nobody, we wanted to give everybody an opportunity at such a low barrier of entry. I mean, it's $10 for a month. I'm sorry, don't go to Starbucks twice. Yeah. Don't get Netflix this month and trade and then pay for Netflix for the rest of your life. It's one of those things where it's stupid, and that's essentially what it is. It's insane. So for today, and then into tomorrow, we're just going to have a sale, and it's going to start off at 98.02%. And for a couple hours, and then we're going to have 90% off, and then, maybe 85% off. Either way, you're looking at pennies on the dollar for something that has changed my life. And I'm not saying that because I helped build it. I'm saying that because I've used this, and it's paid my mortgage. It's paid my child care. It puts food in my refrigerator, and it may have bought some beer that's in the other refrigerator. So for that price point, I think we're going to get it into the hands of people. They're going to hear about it. It's stupid, insane. So the word's going to spread. But overall, people are going to use it. If you like it, that's awesome. I'm glad. If you don't like it, tell me why. What can we do to improve? And that's the other thing. It's one thing to have 300 or 400 people try it out over our free weekends, or 500 people, I think, or more. But if we get in the hands of thousands of people, and that's what we want to do, let's get this in the hands of thousands of people and see, okay, what can we do to make this better? And for $10, or $20, or even $50, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. As I told you through our messages back and forth. I've signed up for a couple of the weekend ones, but hadn't had a chance to use it much.
Yeah.
Being able to use it while my 4 kids are in school is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So definitely.
Absolutely.
So,
David. And the best part is, I'm around. I'm a founder of the project. We self-funded over 500K out of our own pocket to get to where we are. Enrique's around, Nick is around. If you have questions, if you want help, if whatever it is, we're here. We're on our own platform. We're not hiding anywhere. When's the last time you got to talk to Mark Zuckerberg about the issues you're having with Facebook, or it's one of those funny things where we're not hiding. We're accessible. Let us know what we can do to help.
Nice. So, all right, David, as we wrap it up, man, tell everybody where they can, where they can go to sign up for the free trial, and potentially, and if they get in on the sale, where can they find you guys at?
Go to synq.tech. It's synq.tech. Everything is right there. You can log in, join, follow our Facebook page, at Synq Suite or Synq.io. It's synq/io, and follow us on Twitter and the Facebooks, and you'll start seeing some of our trades that we're making using Synq, but you'll start seeing insane sales and a coupon code to get money off, and reach out to us, talk with us. We're always around and we're always posting, so trying to help out the community.
Nice. All right, David. Well, man, it's been a pleasure having you on today, and looking forward to see what this next 3 months can bring, man. I'd like to see maybe in 3 months we'll bring you back on for a follow-up with some good results to share, not just from a trading perspective, but from what it's done for the company.
Absolutely. Anytime you want me on, it's I'm a phone call away. So yeah, I look forward to it. And for all those that are going to try this out, don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again, David, and everyone. I want to thank you all for listening in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.